medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid.
But you see how much kidnappers are eating from victims.
My bill is government should I think all the stakeholders in that sector, they need to be spoken to, and we sit together and agree to them.
The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So it is support that is needed. And once you get the support, your airlines will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. My name is Winifred Bebo, and it's my pleasure welcoming you to October 4th, 2021 edition of Inside Nigeria from Leadership Podcast Studio here in Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. My name is Winifred Bebo, and Inside Nigeria today we'll be dissecting major news headlines from different newspapers, starting with Leadership newspaper, National Economy, The Sun newspaper, This Day, and Blueprint. And of course, I have with me here on the studio our public affairs analyst, Jibrin Baba Ndaje.
It's my pleasure to be here.
And he's also a syndicated columnist.
Yeah.
You're welcome to today's edition of Inside Nigeria.
It's my pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much. So we're starting off with our staple, Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. On Leadership today, it says tension in Southeast as government sets DSS, FIROC offices, vehicles ablaze. Tension in Southeast as government sets Directorate of Security Services, Federal Road Safety Commission offices, vehicles ablaze. And on the right, it says Joe Igbokwe's Nnewi residents also burnt, 5 killed in Kaduna, Anambra. Military begins new offensive in southern states. Benue. Troops repair attack on repentant terrorists. Zamfara speaker's father dies in bandits' den. Sendership. This is what we have today on Leadership newspaper. What is your thoughts?
Like I said in the platform, I just had early this morning newspaper review. I was asked whether I was concerned. I said no. Concern is understatement. I think every Nigerian should be worried. And I am. And like I said, I gave instance of about 10 years or more ago when we started having issues in the Northeast, and some of us who feel that it's so distant, so in Abuja, we're Lagos and all of that, and then it's not our problem. Every Nigerian should be worried about what is going on in the south, in the country, and particularly from the headline in the southeastern part of the country. You know, there has been consistent attack on critical national asset and infrastructure, including INEC offices, all symbol of authority of the state, DSS office, Federal Road Safety, and police stations. You know, and in the process, some security officers are even soft target. They are killed, and they didn't just stop there. They have also attacked the house of a well-known Nigerian who is based in Lagos and who have worked so hard, even though the house he built, maybe he doesn't live there, he just come during festivities and all of that, but it's burned down now, you know. So I think that you look at other parts of the country, what is going on there, and the father of the speaker of Zamfara State also paying the supreme price because he was apparently taken because of the son, who is the speaker. You know, of course, he's an old man. He didn't offend anybody, but criminals have taken him. But I'm happy that there is a military offensive in the southeastern state of the country, which is starting today, and indeed other part of the country. I think that, Winifred, it's important that as a country and as citizen, even when we desire change, it must be peaceful, it must be done, because this is democracy. We have a right to differ an opinion. For instance, if somebody wants the South, if your view is to agitate for a separate country from the Southeast side, you should also know that does not preclude the right of somebody like Joe Iwekwe or some other Easterner who believe that they think differently. They think the Southeastern is better off as part of Nigeria, So you shouldn't impede of them. They also have their right, So I believe that it is a time to make our country whole. Let our leaders continue to reach out to all people of goodwill from the South Sea so that they can prevail on this as the security forces continue to be decisive, continue to be, if possible, ruthless with all criminals. I don't miss word with this, Winifred.
Yes.
Wherever criminals are found, anybody who attacks critical state infrastructure and critical state asset and infrastructure, north, south, east, west of this country, has relinquished his right as a citizen. And therefore, such person or group of individual, bandit, criminals, whatever they call themselves, wherever they are, they don't represent any religion, they don't represent any tribe. They should be dealt with in a decisive way. And if possible, security forces must be ruthless, as the case may be.
Yes, Nadache, don't you think the leaders in the South is high time they rein in these miscreants? I call them miscreants because the issues that we are having, security issues we are having today in the country, also started in Northeast and Northwest. That was how it snowballed into what it is today. So, what's your take on
that? I talk about stakeholders generally. Like I said, quite a number of leaders. If you see, some of them have come out to talk. Some have even reached out to other stakeholders from other parts of the country. But this is a time to be more forceful. Like you rightly say, it's a time for all leaders from the Southeast to find a way to end this madness. I'll call you like you say. These are a group of miscreants that are let loose. In the last 1 week since the last program we had, there have been two prominent Easterners, prominent Nigerians who have lost their life. Wife of husband of late Dr. Chike Okwili. Just recently, there was a report about 48 hours ago that one of the leading surgeons, I think from Anambra, was killed with his oddly. So we cannot continue like this. There's a need for the leaders to come together and say, no, enough is enough. Because we seek change. Okay, if you seek change, who do you want to lead? Who are you going to lead? Empty houses or empty home or all of that? As it is today, I just spoke with somebody, a friend who has something to do I think in Anambra. And yesterday he called me in the night and was seeking my opinion. I said, well, you have a responsibility to ensure that you find out what is going on there, because you don't take yourself to a place that apparently is unsafe. From airport, even if you go to airport, you are not going to hide, just jump. The place is not going to drop you in there. You'll still have to leave the airport to the city. If you drop in a Owerri and you are going to maybe Abia or any of the store, Port Harcourt, and you are coming in either to Abia or wherever you are going within the Southeast, you still have to use road between airport or the town, and even within town or in your hotel. So we need really, like you said, the elders must come out and be very forceful. Even if the change will not come immediately, let it be known that they are not in support of it. This is not the time to play politics. And especially that there are many Nigerians who are sympathetic to the cause of this, not for secession, but talking about the need for we all talk about it here. We're talking about inclusiveness and all of that.
But the way they are going right now, they're not making it easier.
No, they are making it even for people who ordinarily support the cause for inclusion, not for secession.
Yes.
They are making it feel as if this thing, for instance,
making their case worse, don't you think?
Yes, as it is today, if you go into any city in the Southeast and you cannot dress the way I dress, you are already as well. You have marked. You have made yourself a mark. So it shouldn't be like that. It may unleash mayhem. If you see the videos that were shared on the attack on
Dr. Chike,
this thing, and then even the attack on DSS headquarters, on Federal Safety Navy, and other.
I've never seen a situation like this that you are fighting for a cause,
Yeah.
you for inclusion or marginalization
Yes.
against person, and yet you are underdeveloping
You're
your own
under the,
terrain.
and you see,
You are
Winifred,
developing your own terrain,
this
killing your own prominent
this exclusive or marginalization
people.
is not in any part of the country. Ordinary people in Nigeria are marginalized. We
Exactly.
speak about it.
Yes.
We are talking about access of education,
Yes.
to health, to good school, to good road. We just mentioned it here. Even states in the north, are they not marginalized?
Yeah.
We gave the example of Niger the other day.
Yes.
How in the last 6 years, what are the projects of this particular government? Which road was completed in Niger State, for instance? Barrow Port. They took the president there to go and commission it. The president commissioned it. After that, the minister of transport said that it's not a viable project. Is that not marginalization? This is APC state that gave the president 100% vote, and the support has been consistent. No one single, even the one that linked the federal capital here or in the last 6 years has not been completed. So marginalization is not just one part of the country, and you should not just see it in terms of a number of appointments or all of that alone. We should look at it. This administration, the money, quantum of money spent in the southeast is more than North Central and some states in the north. The whole what is being spent in the southeast is more than the entire North Central in terms of road. Just take second Niger Bridge alone. The billions of naira that is expended on that. So let's not sit down and just conclude and say marginalization. We need to continue to work at it. We shouldn't just reduce it to political marginalization. Look at it's only presidency. If they don't give us presidency, that is not the end. And even when you want to seek it, just like you rightly say, you don't do it, you don't go the way you cannot stampede people. You cannot bring violence. I say that will bring a result. And this violence, you are bringing it upon your own people
and your own
on terrain. But again, like I said, let's not go the way of when the crisis started in this northeast. And some of us Nigeria start here in Abuja or Lagos. It's their business. It's their own. Whether you are in or out of government, what is going on in the southeast should worry all of us the way we are worried here and concerned. Where the security forces will be expected to be continuously decisive and if necessary.
I've forgotten how they also murdered was it Gulak?
Yes, Gulak. Yes, Gulak. Yes, on his way to and Gulak was killed just a few months ago on his way to the airport. Also in this, so it's a very dangerous situation.
So do you see maybe the state governors calling for sort of state of emergency or something?
There should be, even if it's not state of emergency, even political actors, all political actors, businessmen, traditional religious leaders. In the southeast, the church is very strong.
Yes.
In the process of developing in everything there. So then all the stakeholders must come together. Where the security forces continue to look out for this miscreant, to deal with them decisively and if necessary ruthless, there must be back channel, of all the leaders, political leaders, stakeholders, businessmen, everybody, men and women of goodwill who want to move this country forward, like we said, beyond the 61, what happened next. I think that is very, very important.
Yes, it's crucial. Okay, thank you so much, Ndachi, for that analysis. From Leadership Newspaper, we are moving over to its sister publication, The National Economy. National Economy today has on its cover growth potential abound for Nigeria's economy in blockchain technology. Growth potential abound for Nigeria's economy in blockchain technology. On the right there, it says, as experts list benefits, crypto blooms despite government's ban. Growth potential abound for Nigeria's economy in blockchain technology. In that change, this good news if we can actually harness it. Don't you think so?
You see, my sister, there's somebody that said that you cannot ignore Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria is a beautiful bride any day. And I had an interaction with an elder statesman recently. There's a way he captured Nigeria. He said, look, despite all our challenges, Nigeria is a country that we must ensure that it works for all of us. So whatever anybody say about Nigeria, and like we said on the independence thing, for me, and I think for you and for many other Nigeria, the core is half full, not
Yeah.
half empty.
Yeah.
There are many opportunities. That is why we need to continue to ensure work for peace. We must work for peace from whatever marginalization, passive or real. Let's not take to violence.
Yes. Actually, what you are saying, development people will always tell you that Nigeria, the population is supposed to be our strength.
Yes,
For
it's,
advantage.
It's it
How
should be
come
an
we are
answer
not-
because
we are not able to
we have
harness
said
our
it because
population
you see whatever you have, if you don't
for
harness it,
advantages?
you don't harness. Even as bad as the situation in the Southeast, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. This didn't started today. Those who are unleashed on the society were abandoned by the society.
Yes, it's true.
Everybody, for instance, you and I cannot go and take them. We have more at stake.
Yes.
For ourselves, for our family. Yes, we know we are going to live one day, but we don't want to waste our life. But when somebody feels that even psychologically there's no sense of belonging, the society has not given anything, has not given any sense of belonging, he has nothing to live for, so he doesn't care whether to die. So we must harness our potential. We must understand how to make engagement of the youth a priority, create opportunity. Everybody cannot do white collar job, but what sense of belonging and all of that. And you see, we said there was I think our last topic that I talked about, one of the things that we need to do, which is to ensure that we have a Civil War memorial, another crisis.
That's what I wanted to say. I said, obviously, this Southeast, they don't know history. That history needs to be taught in school so that they will know what happened.
The Civil War ended over 40 years ago.
Yes.
Now, all the people you find engaged in this now, they are in their 20s.
30s.
It's not 30s. It was not taught. Some of them are not lucky to read books like we have done, or to sit with elders to talk about the danger of war and why it was fought. It was even at the end of war. At the end of the war, there was an instance of a particular Air Force officer who crossed over to Biafra. And immediately the war ended, his friends, Air Force officer for a Nigerian side, went to his village to go and look for him. Immediately the war ended, and his mother had to hide him. They thought that they had come and kill him. I can't remember the name of the officer. Just to tell you the bound, even as they are fighting, it wasn't a war that all these our fathers look up to. It was a necessary war, and it wasn't a war to separate Nigeria. We must understand it. It was a war to keep us together. So let's not miss the point. These people were friends. You have instances from history and interaction of elder of even during war. Late Chief Odumego Ojukwu still maintains relationship with late Emir of Kano. They are very close friends. So we must understand what led to that war, why was it fought, and what was the temperament and attitude of even the fighters. Even as they were fighting, they were looking forward to the end of the war. And when it ended, I just gave you one instance. Interacting with this elder will tell you that they just had to fight that war to keep the country one and not to separate the country. So we missed their gaps that was left. One, like you said, in the history, but I gave instance of countries like Rwanda, which was just 25 years ago. You go there is genocide memorial. They are not saying it should happen again. They are saying that, look, there are lessons. As you move, you go to Rwanda memorial, they take you around other genocides. What happened? What this person did? What is the danger? They tell you. You watch videos and all of that. People will now understand, look, this is not the way to go. And we must not look at the negative side of the war alone. Even that war there were some people in the north now, you see them, but their mothers or parents as the rest of the war on one side are also from the southeast. So we must not just look at it. We are more heterogeneous. We were together more now than we were then. So we need to work at our unity as a country. But the leadership at all levels must take the lead. We must build a nation that will give every Nigerian a sense of belonging, especially engaging our youth. Let them understand, let them believe in the country.
Yeah, I think so. So in that we have to go on break now. When we come back, we'll review other papers we have on the menu, and that is Blueprint, Sunny's paper, and This Day. So please don't go away. We're coming back.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. You're still on to Inside Nigeria, reaching you from Leadership Podcast Studio here in Abuja. And of course, my name is Winifred Ogwebo. Unfortunately, my co-host Bode Agbadebo is not with me right now, but I hope I'm expecting him this week. But I have with me in the studio, Jibrin Baba Ndachi.
My sister, it's my
You're
pleasure
welcome.
to be here.
Yeah. He's also a columnist with Blueprint newspaper. So we'll be reviewing your paper now.
Thank you
on the
very
menu,
much.
Blueprint newspaper. So for Blueprint newspaper this Monday, 4th October, it says VAT legal war. VAT, that is value added tax legal war. Adamawa Kaduna Plateau joined Federal Inland Revenue Lagos Rivers. VAT legal war. Adamawa Kaduna Plateau joined Federal Inland Revenue Service in battle with Lagos Rivers. It's scandalous for Lagos, other APC states to sue federal government. That is a Progressive Governors Forum. Says PDP presenting false narrative against Buhari. This is on Blueprint newspaper. Your paper.
Yes,
Ndachi.
yes.
What do you have to say on this?
You see, my view on this, I think even on this program, is that you see there's too much politics on every issue in Nigeria. These are issues that should be discussed among the governor and even at National Economic Council. And like I said, you see, the way we look at issues in Nigeria, especially this issue of VAT, I said it on one other program that I had. The VAT, Federal Inland Revenue, is collecting VAT on behalf of all the states of the Federation. And experts have looked at all of this. There are VAT that is only Federal Inland Revenue that is empowered to collect it. And when Federal Inland Revenue collects it, it will give it to all the states, not that all of them. And like I said in one other program, the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue, because he's from a state, maybe from my state, Niger now, it doesn't mean that since he's there, he can increase the VAT allocation to Niger State. He cannot do anything.
Actually, people have this misconception.
Yes.
That FRS is the one that shares. But
Yeah.
I have always enlightened them that no, the function of Federal Inland Revenue Service is to collect. So how it is shared to other states?
It is not his business. It's that what Federal Ministry of Finance is faring through allocation and everything is what is collected from Federal Inland.
I think the issue why there is VAT, this legal war, is the issue of equity sharing formula. And of course, we cannot expect that actually states like Lagos, Rivers, and even Oyo, this last one, I got to know that Oyo had was the third or fourth in revenue drive. At the end of the day, when the money is being shared, they are giving peanuts.
These issues, what I'm saying.
I think that is where they should look at.
What I'm saying, these issues,
the collection.
these governors are friends. They are on talking time, one phone call away. It's not everything, because the way even some of us, you and I, the ordinary man on the street feels that the southern governors are against the north as a whole, and see the driving of this parasitic narrative. That is the way it is seen. Even by some elite, it's seen as if it's a gang up against the northern part of the country. And what I tell people always, we should not play too much politics on issues that concern us. You see, I always give example of country like individual or family structure. And I gave example of US, for instance. Because one part doesn't have what you have today, it doesn't mean tomorrow that part will not have what you also don't have. So when you have, you should not, yes, you talk of equity, but don't play too much politics with it. Since 1999, how many concessions have been given in terms of oil producing area, 13% derivation, and all of that? We are not saying states should not look for their right, but I'm saying that in Nigeria, issue should be handled with care, so that it doesn't overheat the politics, and the way the ordinary man on the street will take it will not be concerned. It will further the narrative of this north-south divide. If you are going and you are saying VAT, it's not they are not fair to you on the state. Already there are states that what they are getting is 3 times what some other states are getting. But again, there is also a message for all the northern states. It is time to look in what? To improve on your VAT and look at other sources. And I'm happy states like Adamawa, Kaduna, and Plateau have joined the Federal Revenue. Let them go since there is a battle that they want. But I am just advising that it is not every issue that political players will take and say they are going to battle or all of that. There is a way. There is a way they can all resolve it through governors forum, through various NEC and all of that. That these issues don't need to take it to the court.
Okay. I want to also ask, this issue of VAT night has thrown up a whole gamut of issues. I'm talking about restructuring of federalism. Don't you think that with this fiscal federalism is a wake-up call to all state actors, governors,
That is
to
the
look
point.
for means
Yes,
of,
that is every
of
state,
driving
every
revenue from their
state,
state?
every state must look inward. But even for some of
Because
the
we are having a
let me
situation
tell
where
you,
every quarter
yes,
the governors
yes,
come to Abuja, clap in hand, collect money.
state from the south. It's
Yes.
not a
No,
northern.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Governors,
for
all the
instance,
governors, 36 governors.
I have said it here before. All states must look inward. Apart from 1 or 2 states in Nigeria, which state is viable? Remove oil from even the oil producing state. What is their economy? Are they investing it in agriculture, in tourism or other like you find UAE have done, what is Saudi Arabia have done? All the 36 states and FCT must wake up. It is time. You are right. They must wake up. But again, we must not do a cut and paste. Democracy is not cut and paste. Let us do things that suit our own situation. What is the product? I've said it here before. Tell me anything. What is the niche of each of the states in this country? Is there anything that will say, okay, I'm going to state A because of this, either agriculture or tourism or whatever, something that will say, okay, this is one thing that is a niche for my state. We have said it here. Just like Nigeria, we don't have a niche. Yes, we have potential. A nation like Nigeria that does not have a national career. So we need to wake up and build our country into a formidable level that each federating unit will have something that takes it as, okay, this is the niche of my country, this is the niche of my state. And like I said earlier, particularly the northern state, they need to look inward to up their own source of revenue. And indeed, all other states, every state now should look beyond the oil economy, not just the federal government. How are you? And this is where we talk about issues of generating opportunity for youth. If youth, those who are engaged, they will not be involved in all manner of this criminality that is Yahoo and all manner of yes. So I it's a wake up call, but I still maintain my position that some of these issues should not be should not be over politicized.
But sorry, Nigeria is 61 years old now, and having gone this far, many experts are saying that we've not really made any appreciable progress over the years. And the situation whereby Lagos, almost all the 36 state governors are not willing to do anything except to come to the Abuja to collect their location quarterly. So apart from this bat, do you see any change? There's going to be a change, because don't forget our political process too that brings in this leadership that made desirable change is also flawed. For instance, we are talking about transmission of election results, which now they have put a caveat. So what is going to happen?
You see, when you talk about leadership, we must also talk about followership. Are we ready to follow our leaders when they want to change?
Okay.
You see, when leaders change means taking difficult decision. The same Nigerians who are talking about change, when leaders take decisive decision, go to some states that some governors are taking decision for the future. They are not ready. And as a country, many of these countries that have developed, some processes started take 10, 20 years. One of our biggest challenge is policy inconsistency and abandonment of project. I just gave instance of Barrow Port. Barrow Port was conceived over 50 years ago. Are you telling me now that those who conceive it don't know what they are doing? Why should it be? And late President Yaradua revive it. His successor, who is his vice president at the same political party, didn't do anything about it throughout that period. Then President Buhari started it. In 2018 or early 2019, went to Barrow, commissioned it. After commissioning it, later the minister who took the president there is telling Nigerians now that it's not viable. What are we talking about? There are roads in Nigeria that have been ongoing construction for 20 years. Is it rocket science to construct road? We are talking about power generation. In the last 20 years, we have not been able to generate up to 10,000 megawatts. Is it rocket science? So these are all the things that we as a nation, we must look at. One, we must continue to demand for good governance from our leader. Two, as followers, we must also be ready to elect the right leaders, those that will make this change. And when they also come on board, we must be ready. The job does not end with you electing a leader. It continues after electing by following him, by criticizing him constructively, by ensuring he takes the right decision. And when he takes it, whether palatable or not, you follow him and support him in taking all the decisions for the good of our country.
Oh, thank you so much, Ndache. From Blueprints, we are moving over to our next paper on the menu, and we'll have the Sun newspaper. The Sun is still on the same issue of that.
It's a major issue. You can see even the headline. They didn't say Adamawa Kaduna Plateau. It's a northern states. Just like I mentioned to you, the angle is north-south. You understand? So, and these are the things that we should avoid. These governors, they are all friends, they are colleagues. There's a way, development, nations are ongoing concern. These problems will not end. Even countries like US, over 200 years, you saw the last election. So we must not believe ourselves as if our case is a worst case scenario, or that we are the only nation that is not making progress. That is not correct. And that is why all those saying that we have not made progress, that is not correct. I have said it here and I will re-echo it now. Since the independence, from what we read and interacting with our elders and fathers, nobody gave, despite Nigerian potential, many people didn't give Nigeria the chance to survive 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And we are 61. And since the emergence of democracy, the Fourth Republic in 1999, nobody gave us a chance that we are going to survive after the first time. We did first transition, and then the first transfer of power since independence from one civilian to another civilian. Nobody gave Nigeria a chance. It came to pass. President Yaradua became president. President Goodluck Jonathan took over when President Yaradua died in office. Nobody gave us a chance. Some people thought that would be the end of Nigeria. And God have a different plan for Nigeria. President Jonathan did another time contested election on his own account in 2011. Nigeria heaven didn't fall, despite all the negative prediction. In 2015, despite that election coinciding with simulation exercise of the US, this thing about the prediction of likely breakup of Nigeria, it didn't happen. Yes, we faced challenges. Leaders came in, elders came in, everybody rallied around. And that important call, that historic phone call of President Goodluck Jonathan, which will remain one of the most important legacy of his administration, changed the whole scenario. And today they are best of friends of President. I think that he goes to the villa more than any other former president in this country today, and is respected all over the world. He won icon of democracy for our newspaper and been winning a lot of awards. So, and you see, every time that he speaks for a better, not necessarily saying that everything is okay, but always investing through his comment in the future of Nigeria, what for elder statesmen and leaders are expected to do. So we have made a lot of progress. For the first time, over 22 decades of uninterrupted democracy, Nigeria is still respected around the world. As we speak today, based on our problem, there are 3 important Nigerian that are global icon. Professor Okoji Onwuela, Aja Amina Zubair UN, Dr. Adeshina in
Yes.
these are all global icons. Proud Nigeria. It is not by chance. They work for it. They are making us proud as Nigeria, and they believe in this country. So, I mean, we are not where we should be, certainly, but certainly we are not where we were 60 years ago. And one thing that I also find, despite all the challenges and all of that, I also find with this administration is continuation of project. For instance, yes, the Kaduna Abuja rail line was completed. It was started by President Goodluck Jonathan. It was completed by this administration. The rail line, Itakpe, others, and all of that to Ajaokuta and all of that to Delta, all was started almost over 30 years ago. He completed, this present administration completed it. And I think that that is the way to go. Every country that has developed have development plan. Long 10, 20 years development. You have country talking about 2050. And whatever happens, no matter the administration, like in the US, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, there are certain baseline that you cannot go below.
Yes.
In foreign policy, in economy development, political, all of that, there are certain things that you cannot go below that particular benchmark in the development of your country.
Thank you so much. I want to quickly take this comment from Adebayo Amodu, and he says this lead story on national economy today is very apt. Blockchain technology holds lots of opportunities for Nigeria. Even the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, proposed digital currency. E-Naira is built on digital currency, and he says E-Naira is built on blockchain and would create employment for the teeming youth, financial inclusion, faster and safer digital transactions, and reduced transaction risk. That is from Adebayo.
And I hope as
and just a quick one before we go. Nigeria at 60. How do you expect the country to realize its full potentials?
Well, like I said on the Independence Day one, we must continue to build a country that give all Nigerians sense of belonging, fairness, equity, and justice. Every Nigerian, like it was in the past, the gap between the rich and the poor must be closed. Sense of opportunity. We are not living in a caste system. This is a society that a lot of people who were able to move from where they were is as a result of education. What is the level of access to education? What is the level of access to health? To other things that are social amenity. We must invest in what the United Nations definition of security beyond the bullets and gun. Human security, which includes health, water, education, physical, and every security. You know, during COVID, we were challenged. What is the number of hospitals? What is the number of doctors per human being? Is it based on international best practices and all the denominators? Is it right? So, for us going forward to have a nation, we must build our country like a military barrack. In a military barrack, you have at least to a large extent everything that you need. To a large extent. So your need to go out is minimal. So as a nation, we must develop what we want. One of the things that this administration did that helped us during the COVID is to look inward in the production of rice. Imagine that we have to be looking to rice from overseas when every country there was even no flight, nothing was working. So we must build our country, but government must also take the lead at all levels in building a nation that creates believability of the citizens or in the nation. Patriotism is not just there. Nations make effort. Primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. What are we teaching our children? What are we telling them? What kind of story are we telling them? Who are our icon? Who are our ambassador? How do we look forward to them? So these are all the things that we must do as now. And those who seek political office must know that they are covenant with the people and they are going to give account to Almighty God at the end. So these are all very important things that we must look at. And as citizens, we must not be passive. This laissez-faire attitude, you don't know what is happening, you don't care. You must care about your country. You must take your claim. You must vote. Beyond voting, you must also contribute. Know who is your local government chairman, who is your councillor, who is your House of Assembly member, who is your House of Rep member, your senator, what is he doing, your governor, and all the people that are representing us. You don't just sit back and say it's not your business. No, it's your business because he's representing you. You know, and when there's time to criticize, you do it criticism constructively or unnecessarily targeting individual personality or all of that. And when you have advice and you have access to them, you give advice. Even if they don't take it, it will be on record that you gave your advice when you had the opportunity.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Jibrin Babaindaje.
My pleasure.
Jibrin Babaindaje is our public affairs analyst and, of course, economist with Blueprint newspaper. We can go on and on and on, but unfortunately, we have to go. We have limited time. And that is it. That's all we can take today on Inside Nigeria, reaching you from Leadership Podcast Studio. I remain Winifred Webo. Tomorrow is another day. Keep a date. Bye.